welcome back to another episode of Lights Out with Ish and Eve. I'm Ish and this is Eve, and we are back in our comfy chairs, back with all our usual lights, mic, we're both in the same country.
Yes, I love when we come back to our setup after having been in a different setup.
Agreed.
It feels very comfortable.
Yes, wholesome.
I have my George Russell, it's actually my sister's George Russell pillow.
Well,
you know what? This was in her room before. And this weekend, she was like, oh, lol, I'll come out and watch with the cushion.
you didn't know she had it?
No.
Oh.
I mean, she brought it out
Yeah.
to watch qualifying, pole position, watch
Damn.
the race. He won.
Wow.
So
the Lucky Charm pillow.
yeah. So this is
You're welcome, George Russell.
Yeah.
From Evie's sister.
This is just going to be chilling here for the episode because he won the race. So
Yes.
if you feel like he's staring into your soul a little bit, then
Good.
yeah, that's
Nice.
the way we like it.
Yeah. So, obviously, we're going to discuss our Vegas weekend.
Yeah,
as if we were there. The Vegas.
I wish we were there.
I wish we were there too. But first of all, obviously, congratulations, Max Verstappen.
2024 champion of the world, 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yes. And he had to work for it a little bit
Yeah.
harder than he did last year.
Yeah.
So-
and I think he enjoyed working for it.
I think he did too. Very well deserved. I loved seeing him and Lando in the paddock afterwards.
I love how, when Lando came up to him and was, congratulating him, Max, grabbed him and, turned him away from the cameras and was like,
let's just have this little
let's
private
have a little
moment.
moment because I know that there's cameras on us. I love that. I was
I know.
good for you, Max. You know what the media be like.
I know.
They probably would have, if Lando went, a little bit like this, they would be like,
yeah.
But that was really, really sweet. And,
Yes.
I loved his comment on Max's post on Instagram. Did you see it?
I didn't know.
It was Max posted 4-time world champion, blah 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 blah, whatever. Thanks everyone, etc. etc.
Yeah.
And Lando commented, "Good number, I reckon. Congrats, mofo."
Well, there was that meme going around that was like,
He's gonna
Max
pose
has
as
the
the
car.
car.
Shooting the funniest thing and pose at Lando's car.
It is kind of funny that his fourth one is the one where he's fighting number 4.
Yes.
A little bit funny.
Yes. No, he had an okay drive, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
But the car was just not
Yeah.
slaying.
But I will say the little Max 4 logo that the team got made up, absolute gas.
They probably made it last year.
Yeah. They were like, they've probably got number 5 planned.
After Bahrain.
Yeah.
They were like, okay.
Graphic designers get to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was.
They can make Lando with a 0.
We were saying wonder if. Yeah. We were saying as well, wonder if McLaren at any point started to get world championship.
They probably had designs.
Yes.
I don't think they would have printed any, because it was always a tough ask.
Yes.
Even since the start of could this be on, it would have been a record-breaking deficit to overcome to win it. So I reckon if it had got to Abu Dhabi,
Yeah.
they would have made some.
Oh, for sure. But
Yeah, they'd be designs.
yeah, for sure.
I think there'd be designs.
I'm sure they'll get used at some point.
Yeah.
Just not this time.
Just not this
That's
time.
okay.
But yeah.
Anyways.
Wait, something before the weekend.
Yes.
New F1 team?
Yes. I did see this.
Yeah.
I think I saw this and I was like, I'm going to garner this away for us to discuss during the podcast, so I didn't send you anything about it. But remind me where it got to before the weekend.
It's almost confirmed.
Yeah.
I think
So it's Andretti's team.
It's Andretti. Finally. But it's Andretti and General Motors and Cadillac.
Yes.
I'm like, who is it?
So random.
So I think, I could be completely wrong, but I think it's Andretti, obviously.
Yes.
And then they're going to be potentially using a Honda engine, and then they're going to move over to General Motors or something.
Yeah.
And then Cadillac's coming
there
in
somewhere. Yes, I did hear about the Cadillac thing.
But
And
I don't
people
know-
were like, oh, the car should be pink because
Yes.
Cadillac. Yeah.
I think the car should be pink.
That'd be cool.
But
Alpine might have something to say about that, but
I love their pink livery.
Yes.
It looked very good under the lights, and I'm very glad that they're keeping it for the rest of the year.
Agreed. It was very Force India / Racing Point reminiscent.
I was like, whoa. I was like, what year is it? What's going on? But, yeah, that should be interesting. Another 2 seats on the grid.
Yes.
Which is exciting.
Which is good because of how much talent there is in F2.
And F3. And just people that get out of F2 and have nowhere to go because there's no seats available.
Yeah.
Obviously,
true.
if they do come in, it will be for 2026.
Yes.
Yeah, if they brought it in for next year, that would be
crazy.
insane.
So
Anyway.
that happened. And we also got a new race director.
Who was caught littering on practice day. Did you see that?
Yeah. Oh. Terrible first day on the job.
He's like on the track and he like gets out of like a car or something and they're obviously doing like a whatever drive around the track or something.
Yeah.
And he like gets out and has like plastic or something in his hand.
Yeah.
He like puts it underneath in between like where the concrete of the barriers is and like the mesh and just like shoves it through and like drops it on the ground.
Oh.
And because the shot's from the outside, you can just see him just like drop it and it just like blows away.
Oh no.
So,
well,
also like what was he doing all race?
Dude, I was like, are the stewards there?
Yeah.
Are they just like hanging out in Vegas getting a drink in the casino? Like, hello? Yeah. We will discuss that. But that was insane.
Maybe he doesn't know how to put the graphics up yet. It's like miscommunication. Oh, fuck, true.
Yeah, literally.
Anyways,
so overall, I feel like Vegas was a good race. It wasn't like the absolute banger that it was last year
and
or
that
we've had
couple of races.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was a good race. It was
a
enjoyable
lot
to watch.
actually happened. Like once, less so like, less so on the track, more so like, well, still on the track, but over like the team radios and like a lot of different situations were going on, like up and down. Less like on track beef, like wheel to wheel excitement. A lot of just stuff was kind of going on.
Cooking away.
Yeah.
So let's dive into free practice, shall we?
Yeah, I feel like not that much happened.
No.
In free practice, the track was really dusty.
It was musty, crusty, dusty. It was, people were slip sliding all over the place.
Yes. And obviously when that happens, the track evolution is insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah, also Red Bull brought the wrong rear wing, ?
Yeah.
But then Helmut Marko said they did, and then Christian Horner said they didn't. So, get your story straight.
Yeah.
But in these sorts of situations, I'd be inclined to not believe Helmut Marko. But I don't know, they were seen with a little fucking, what's it called? I can't remember the name of the saw, but the little like hand
saw, like a little
like,
angle grinder or something.
Angle grinder, like carving away their rear wing. I was like,
yeah, I feel like they did bring the wrong rear wing, which is very funny.
And then it didn't even matter because whatever, that guy with the angle grinder, Slade, I was like, what if he, whoops.
Totally.
Like, but they would probably have spares of the wrong rear wing.
But still, but even just like cutting the right amount, like...
Yeah, like you can't go back.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, have you ever cut your own hair?
No.
Oh. I used to cut my own hair all the time. Fringe, when I had bangs.
Fair, yeah.
Just to like trim it. But you like kind of keep going.
Yes.
And you keep going, and then you like, should have stopped.
Yeah.
Like, what if they did that? What if they did that?
Yeah. I would have been stressed if I was that guy.
But yeah.
Anyway,
he slayed.
He did. But Mercedes obviously were looking very strong throughout practice, and I was like, cool, they're going to be trash during quali, because that's what's been happening all year. They're
often,
like, whatever is happening in practice, they do the opposite come quali.
Yeah, and the race.
And the race.
It's like, they're just such a fake out a lot of the time in practice. So I was like, well...
I mean, to be fair, they were like, throughout the whole weekend, they were like, we have no idea why we're fast or what's going on.
They always do that though.
I know.
Like often they're fast and they're like, we'll figure out why. And then they can't figure it out. Like Ferrari and Austin, they were like...
Yeah.
0 upgrades, just car went fast.
Couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you why.
I know. But obviously in FP2, just poor Williams in general this weekend. But obviously their woes started in FP2 when Alex had a...
FP1? Oh no, it was FP2, you're right.
Yeah. When Alex had his little breakdown, mechanical issue.
Yeah, because he was in the garage for like most of the thing, and then they finally got him out there and he made it like 100 meters.
Yeah. Brutal.
And they can't catch a goddamn break.
They really can't.
Oh, yeah.
That meme that's like, I'm tired, Grandma.
That's too damn bad.
That is the Williams mechanics, for real.
Literally.
Oh, I feel
damn bad.
I know.
I haven't seen Alex Albon in like a month.
So I have a lot of useless stats.
Oh, that's good.
I know, but one
I
of
have
them,
a couple as well.
Yeah, we probably have similar
probably
ones. One of them is that Alex Albon's DNF meant that he hasn't seen the checkered flag since Austin. Which I know isn't heaps of races ago, but it's a lot.
And like, not all of them entirely his fault. Like,
No.
This one, not his fault. Austin, not his.
Singapore wasn't his fault.
Singapore wasn't. Wait, Singapore was before Austin.
Oh.
Do you mean Baku?
No, it's definitely Austin. He hasn't seen the checkered flag.
Oh, Brazil, he DNS. Where was it? Mexico. Mexico was where he had the first turn incident with Yuki, and that wasn't his fault. Or Yuki's fault. Just first turn incident. So, this one, not his fault. Mexico, not his fault. Brazil, kind of his fault. But also conditions, and that was happening to everyone, and everyone else got to still race.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a little crazy.
I know.
I feel bad. And then, obviously, it was even before Singapore, even before Austin, even though he saw the checkered flag in Austin.
Yeah. I know.
DNF in
he
Singapore.
still hasn't, had the best run before that either.
No.
So, yeah, poor Alex.
I know.
And poor Williams.
I know.
And then obviously FP3 kind of was pretty straightforward except for at the end when Lance Stroll.
That was really funny because my stream, I was watching it like a little bit behind.
Yeah.
And for some reason it jumped forward and I just saw like, it said red flag and like Stroll was like walking around and I was like, oh my god, lol. And then I like went back and watched it. I was like, oh, it wasn't his fault.
I know. I just thought like the way that the commentators were like, oh, it's Lance Stroll. It was like the epitome of like disappointed but not surprised.
Yeah, but also it wasn't his fault. Like everyone was like had that sort of reaction, and then I was like, that could have happened to anyone.
I know, but it was him. So and
then he almost didn't make it out for qualifying.
I know, that was crazy. Yeah. He literally got out with like he got to do his out lap and then put in a lap time, which obviously just wasn't good.
It was still slowest, but that's kind of expected in those
like you've
in
had
that
no
situations.
Running. Yeah. So
quali. In the point on the topic of quali.
Yes.
Very close at the top.
Yeah.
Like in all of them, the top 3 or 4 were separated by like under a tenth.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But to come back to Q1.
Yes.
Perez got out.
No, I mean Q1, Q2, and Q3, they were all like that.
Oh, sorry, Q3. I always think it. Wait.
No, you're right.
No, I'm
Q1.
right.
I do the same thing.
Why do I do this every time?
I do the same thing. It's okay. Yeah,
you could
Perez,
have like a clipped video of me just
calling
getting
Q1,
Q3 wrong every single time.
At least Q2 doesn't change.
Yeah. No, but yes, Perez out in Q1.
One of my biggest memes of the weekend. We have to talk about it now.
Yes.
I'm sure everyone's seen it. You know, if anyone didn't watch the race,
weird that you'd be listening to the podcast.
The sphere obviously shows like different things throughout and like different driver graphics like as they go past. Like funny like Charles Leclerc like fist pumping as he drives past. Perez, they put him up on the sphere after he gets knocked out in Q1. Massive graphic up on the sphere of Perez going like this. Why?
First of all, why did they film that in the first place?
I'm like, do you have everyone doing that? Like,
yeah.
Oh, just him. And maybe Logan Sargent. Like,
yeah, that was
hilarious.
So funny.
That's such a crime. But I also kind of want to go and high five whoever did that because it's hilarious. But it's not even just that it's Perez. Like, that would be so funny. That's
for anyone,
hilarious that they did that.
I know.
Someone hinged.
Yeah. But anyways, I just could not. When I saw he was knocked out, I was like...
I saw something and it's like, Perez has been knocked out in Q1 this year the same amount of times that Max has been knocked out of Q1 in like 5 years.
That is insane.
Maybe it's not 5 years, but it's something like that.
That is insane.
Yeah.
I feel like as a fan, it's just frustrating.
It is.
Because you just seeing all these other drivers who deserve the spot so much more.
Fighting
and like,
for them.
yes, there's money, but it's just like,
he's costing you that amount of money by not winning the fucking constructors, no?
yeah. Well, I mean,
No.
No.
Carlos Slim.
but, yeah. But it's just really frustrating as a fan to watch that. And I'm sure it's very frustrating for the Red Bull team.
Yeah.
Like, hugely frustrating for Red Bull fans.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels icky. Seeing him
icky.
in that seat every weekend.
And like, it's the same kind of Stroll situation, but the difference is the Aston Martin sucks.
Exactly. It's not a top performing team.
Yeah.
So it's not, the stakes aren't the same.
No. And like, yeah, you can be like, oh, it just shows how good Max is. I'm sure if you put a lot of other people in the second Red Bull seat, they'd still be consistently
Better than Perez.
top 10.
Yeah.
Did you hear? This is kind of irrelevant, but Max was talking about some conversations he'd had with Lando, like before this season, being like, oh, like your time will come, you're doing all the right things, like you've got good people, blah, blah, blah. He was like, I even invited him to be my teammate at one point. Like before Lando signed the McLaren contract extension, like at the start of this year.
Yeah.
I was like, can you fucking imagine if that had happened?
Crazy.
He was like,
Max
oh yeah.
and Lando and Red Bull together.
That would be insane.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine the team orders?
I don't think they would be friends.
No, I fear that might, anyway. But I was like, because it just shows that, like, they talk about it. Like, of course they talk about it.
Totally.
But, like, he was like, oh, yeah, I invited him to come be my teammate. I was like, oh, my God. I was, like, thinking of all the fucking ifs
Yeah.
in my head. I was like, whoa.
Damn.
That would have been
That
crazy.
would be insane. That would be
crazy.
some crazy racing.
I'd be here for that.
That'd be, like, early, like, Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen Red Bull days, where they were very equal in that car.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Imagine him having someone equal in the car.
Yeah, damn.
I still think he would probably cook Lando, but it would still be, like,
Yeah.
crazy. Also, just
would.
because of, like, he knows the Red Bull.
Totally.
And they make the Red Bull.
But if they gave
for
him a
him.
few years,
Yeah.
let Lando get used to it,
I think that would be
insane.
kind of crazy. Because, yeah, Max hasn't had someone equal in that car since Daniel.
I would want to
Ricciardo.
see, you know how Lando and, like, Quadrant do all the, like, karting videos?
Yes.
I would want to see just that, but with Max and Lando.
Yes. You know how, like, they brought the 2019 rookies back and did, like, the karting thing with them?
Yeah, but just with Max and Lando.
That would be a
And maybe
blast.
Charles.
Yeah, bring Charles.
Just cause.
Yeah.
That'll be a vibe.
Just for the vibes.
Anyways, back to quali.
Yes.
Zhou
Zhou Guan Yu got through.
I know!
He had a great weekend.
He did. He was cooking.
And I love that for him.
Yes.
Even though, like, he's lost his seat now. But I love that for him. I love that he's finally... Because I've said this so many times, like, he just hasn't been able to show if he's good.
No.
Because the car sucks. And Bottas is good. So,
Yeah.
like, we know that.
Yeah.
So he hasn't really been able to show if he's good at all.
I know.
So I'm like, I'm so happy for him. But he's potentially going to Ferrari next year. How do you feel about that?
I don't see that happening.
You don't see that happening?
Well, they've already got their current reserve driver.
Ollie Behrman.
No, well, what's his name?
Giovinazzi.
Giovinazzi, yeah.
Yeah.
And they've got
Arthur Leclerc.
Arthur.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't think either of them are going anywhere.
No, definitely not Arthur
And I don't think they need three.
No. Well, they had 3 this year.
Did they?
With Ollie and those 2.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Anyway,
Who
Zhou
knows?
Guan Yu could end up in Ferrari next year.
We'll see.
In some way,
Who
shape or form.
knows?
That would kind of be insane. Imagine, like, someone gets sick or something and Zhou Guan Yu is driving the Ferrari.
Whoa!
Good. Imagine he does
Bro
that and,
moved
like,
up in the world.
and, like, cooks.
Yeah.
That would be insane.
That would be
Get
insane.
him into Andretti. That's all I'm saying.
Who knows?
Bro makes Q2 once. And I'm
Like, put him in the Ferrari.
yeah. Zhou Guan Yu.
Get out, Charles.
Yeah. I'll talk about it later.
Okay.
It's about the TikTok I sent you earlier today. With Zhou Guan Yu.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
And then just on the other little driver rumours, now that we're talking about
Yeah.
it, was Valtteri rumoured to be
Going back to
Mercedes,
Mercedes.
reserve driver.
Yeah.
Which
full circle
would be a
moment.
slay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I can
like-
get behind that.
Mick Schumacher.
I know, he's just like, hello?
He's like, have you not seen my last name?
Yes,
It's like-
we've also seen your driving.
Yeah.
So,
We saw the damage bill of Haas.
Yeah.
We said,
said maybe not.
yeah.
Anyway.
Maybe we can go to Williams if you enjoy them.
True.
Anyways.
Speaking of Williams, Q2, Colapinto. When it cut to the Williams mechanics,
I felt so
they just looked devastated. Like, just broken.
I saw a meme. And it was like, it's like, employer, we're looking for someone with at least 6 years of experience for this mechanic position. And the person said, I had 1 year, but it was at Williams. And they said, you're hired.
You've rebuilt enough cars for 6 years worth of experience.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, that was pretty brutal. And just like the worst timing too for Colapinto, because he's obviously trying to secure himself a seat for next year. And it just, I don't think it's ruined his chances, but it doesn't look good.
Especially 2 weekends in a row. And he crashed twice last weekend.
Yeah.
And then this one, it's like... I saw another funny meme about this. There's been some good memes this weekend.
There have been some good memes this weekend.
And it was like, ghost of a Florida man. Yes. Ghost of a Florida man, like, possesses Argentinian on qualifying lap. Like transparent, like, Logan Sargent, like, from the thing. I was like, no bar.
Logan just cannot catch a break.
No, I know. He went P1 in IndyCar test.
He did. We love that.
America.
Just stick to what
where they belong. I don't know if that's a crazy thing to say.
But anyway.
It figures.
Yes. And then Q3, Yuki made it through to Q3 and split the McLarens.
Yeah.
Which, again, when you look at his two Red Bull counterparts in Liam and Perez,
both out.
Bro, you really, like...
Yeah. They're not gonna take Yuki.
Nope.
He needs to leave.
I know. Well, it's just like, what do you want from that man? Like,
literally.
He's got to win a world championship in an RV.
Like, you've won one race. Only a single race has been won in that car.
Yeah.
What do you want from him?
Literally.
Like, bro.
Brutal.
Ridiculous.
But yeah. And then, obviously, we had George on pole.
Yay.
And Lewis in P10.
Yeah.
Due to... Well, first of all, his lap time wasn't even good anyways.
No, he got it deleted.
Yeah.
But,
but
then his second lap time also, like, he had a little wobble and it just wasn't good.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, sucks to suck. But, it was very much like the track evolution was crazy.
Yes.
Like, it was very much last over the line. And I was a little bit pissed off that the McLarens went out first.
Yes.
I was like,
well, if there'd been a crash, they would have looked... smart, but
true, because George was like, send me out last, I want to go last,
which is a big risk because if there had been a crash, and it's not like a crash was unlikely,
there'd just been one,
so but he took a risk and it paid off.
It did pay off. And Gasly P3,
out of nowhere.
I was like, maybe the Alpine is coming good.
Maybe not, but amazing quali lap.
Yeah.
And then I was excited because Charles was starting in P4 and I was like, another win. Let's go. My predictions.
True.
Not to be.
Anyways. That's so funny. You like almost, it's like every second week, you're like, Ferrari's going to win.
Yeah.
If I say it enough, it'll happen.
It's a numbers game. At some point.
Funny. So funny. But they also do just like randomly win. So it's kind of...
Well, it was looking good at the start. I mean, obviously just quickly moving on to the race now.
Yeah.
So like...
I mean, we can move on to the race.
Yeah. Charles like absolutely nailed his start because he had a double overtake on Pierre and Carlos.
Up into P2.
And I was like, all right, we're on. Here we go. My prediction.
I was like, no! Like, P2 in the driver's standings. I'd given up on P1 at that point.
Yeah.
I gave up on that as soon as Max was cooking it. As soon as the red flag came in Brazil, I was like, that's game over. See you later. But P2's very much still on.
Yes.
So I was like, no, Charles, you need to fuck off. And also, I love George. So I was like, George got a great launch.
Amazing launch.
Great launch.
He was away.
See ya later.
Yep.
The broadcast didn't even show him.
No.
I think Jensen Button said to him in the interview, he was like, that's how you know you're doing well.
Yeah,
when
we just did not see you at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, George absolutely just flawless weekend from start to finish.
Yeah.
Like, and Mercedes like topped every session. Yeah. Like, so good.
Yeah.
Stunning performance.
Big slay.
but not a lot to say about you because
you just
literally didn't see you the whole time. But yes, Charles obviously nailed the start and then completely cooked his tyres.
Yeah.
No one's tyres held up for more than
all.
20 laps. Some people's lasted 10.
The hard tyre was 15 laps.
Yeah.
That's how a soft tyre performs half the time.
Literally, that Mick Schumacher meme that's done for the day. That's the tyres.
Literally. It was the medium tyre was lasting 9 laps and I was like, whoa! I was 5-stop race, everybody?
Hello?
What's going on?
Yeah.
And Oscar's penalty?
Yeah.
I still haven't seen a second angle of that.
So that was the only thing that was noted and investigated by the stewards.
The Lawson-Magnussen incident was noted.
Oh yeah, it was noted.
But they never said no further investigation.
No. Yeah. So it was pretty much just the Oscar thing.
I was cheers.
Which was crazy.
Cheers, everybody.
Because there was definitely some things in that race that should have gotten penalties. And did not.
No. What the hell? Oscar, it replayed it and I was like...
Yeah, that angle was funky. And I think it was very minimal.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Much of a muchness, really.
Yes.
But, yeah, everyone was pitting on, lap 10. I was like, what's happening?
It was so bizarre.
Yeah.
And I think because Charles was the first one to pit too. And then, because obviously he'd cooked his tyres, but then that triggered everyone else going. And I was like, oh, everyone's following a Ferrari strategy. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting decision.
And I guess while we're on the topic of Ferrari strategy, let's just talk about Carlos real quick. Because they really Ferrari'd.
They did. But Carlos also said...
Yeah. Which was very funny.
But, also, it's kind of funny because, on one hand, I'm yeah, he's leaving. Yeah. He just wants to be on the podium as much as possible before he goes to a backmarker team.
Yes.
Who can't stop crashing. And, yeah, but I'm also do you really want to make a bad relationship with your teammate?
I know.
That you've gotten along with so well for 4 years.
I know.
At this point in time. But also, nah, it's a selfish sport.
It is. And I think a lot of it was, heated in the moment.
Decisions.
Decisions and comments and all those sorts of things. So, obviously, Carlos was calling for a pit stop for laps.
At least 3 laps.
And then they pitted Charles first. And then there was going to be a switchback. But then they ruined... Carlos's pit stop because they weren't ready.
He's been calling for this pit stop for 3 laps and you're not ready. Box, stay out, stay out, stay out. I was what?
I was are we in Monaco?
I know. It was actually so, luckily, Carlos hadn't actually gone... When they told Charles to stay out, he was, basically at the pit box.
Yeah. So, Carlos could still get out of the pit lane, which should have been a penalty... Because he was over the line.
He was well and truly over the line. And the way that you know that as well, apart from looking at it, is his lap time was deleted for track limits. So
yeah. It was crazy. As soon as we saw it, all of us were like,
this is a penalty.
This is a penalty.
It has to be.
Yeah. And then we waited and waited and waited.
Nothing.
And there was no noting. And even on the commentary, they were has anything been noted? No, not yet. Oh.
Because we thought originally, before we heard the radio message of being we weren't ready, and Carlos was like, come on, guys, wake up, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Before that, we thought it was a situation of do the opposite of what Lewis does.
Yes.
So,
when you saw Lewis
coming in, go back out.
Yeah.
But, no, it wasn't, they weren't trying to big brain.
No, it was just... Ferrari being Ferrari. And then obviously Carlos did his pit stop, came out behind Charles, and then was told not to put pressure on Charles and
overtook him.
Yeah, said
promptly
anyway, ignored. And then Charles's response was to tell his engineer to ask Carlos in Spanish.
Which is hilarious. Maybe try in Spanish.
Yeah.
So funny.
I know.
So funny.
I know.
Hilarious.
I love it.
Anyway, this other scrap that I thought was the other one that got noted was Lawson and K-Mag.
Dude, Lawson came out swinging.
I'm not shocked at this point. Lawson is trying to kill somebody.
Yeah.
To get that seat.
Yeah.
And also, K-Mag, 3 races left, 0 penalty points.
Yeah.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised neither of them crashed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Yeah. But that was noted, but that's one they didn't even put up, like, no further investigation.
Yeah. It was insane. Poor Pierre Gasly, after his P3 quali, ended up having to retire.
That was crazy. He was like, I have no power. And his engineer goes, looks fine on the data.
I know. And then cut to, like, literally 5 seconds later, smoke out the back.
I'm like, you've got power or you don't.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the problem was the power was fine, but there was just something else wrong.
Yeah. But still, everything is fine.
Everything is not fine. That's like the dog sitting in the burning house. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Yeah. Bro.
I know.
I felt really bad. He was kind of like not doing so well already.
No.
But
who knows how long his car was kind of not functioning properly for either.
Yeah,
so that was unfortunate. And Alex Albon retiring was also unfortunate for Williams.
Yep. Another one.
Yep.
That was my prediction though.
Yes.
I hoped that prediction wouldn't come true, but
yeah,
it did.
Yeah.
Lewis was fucking flying.
Yes.
This is another thing. Like, Mercedes, even though they practice session fake out and then usually see you later in qualifying, often George still gets up there in quali. Mm-hmm. But their race pace has just been nowhere for ages.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought that maybe Ferrari were going to win the race because of the Mercedes race pace. But they were both flying, and Lewis must have been fuming about his quali lap after the race, because if he'd started,
he said it in his like post-race interviews, he was like,
unfortunately
quali. Because absolutely he would have won had he qualified even a few places higher, because he would have had the time to catch him,
because he finished like 5 seconds down the track from George.
Exactly. So that is unfortunate,
but it is what it is. Don't fuck up your quali lap.
Also, wait. Oh, yes.
When Ferrari swapped the positions.
Yeah.
With Lewis right there.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I was like, now?
Yeah.
Lewis has got DRS behind you and you're swapping the positions.
Yeah. It was Ferrari being Ferrari, continuing throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
That was...
But I was like, now?
Yeah.
Of all times.
Yeah. They almost had a we are checking. Because, like, I think on the team radio, I think Carlos's engineer was like,
give us a lap, we'll get back to you.
I was like, oh no, we are checking territory. This is not going to go well.
The words a Ferrari fan never wants to hear. We are checking. Oh, God.
Oh, that was not the vibe. But yeah, there was a moment as well where, wait, who was it with? I think I wrote down a note about it. Oh, yeah, it was when Lewis was, like, overtaking Perez. I think it was around like lap 17, and his like front wing was like under Perez's car. I was like, he is inside, or like under, I was like, he is inside Perez right now. I was like, whoa.
Yes, I remember this.
Crazy. Yeah, but then Perez's double overtake.
That was really good. I was like, whoa.
That was on K-Mag and Liam.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That 3 into the one corner.
Into the fucking chicane too.
Into the...
Yeah. After the back straight, I was like, there's no way all 3 cars are coming out of this. But they did.
They did.
And Perez got the double overtake. Red Bull's going to play that clip and be like, see? He is good. I'm like, he's fighting a Hassan and RB.
Calm down. But it was
a great move.
It was a very good move.
Phenomenal move.
Yes. So shout out to Perez for that.
Maybe, like, get up further in the field and pull something like that.
Pull something like that on a McLaren and a Ferrari, and you're good. But...
yeah, for fighting for like a podium position, and maybe we can talk.
But
no.
Anyway, speaking of Haas, that was also like potentially a $10 million drive for them.
Because Alpine did so bad.
Yep.
Like, because of Alpine's huge result in Brazil, they were all of a sudden...
yeah.
There's a massive battle going on.
They were donked up to P6 or
P6. To P6, and now, like, that's what Hassan RB were fighting for.
Yeah.
But now after their DNF and P17, it's like, it's anyone's
all
game
that headway.
Again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. For what?
Yeah.
Crazy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, in speaking of the constructors, like, shit's crazy there.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
first
Ferrari,
McLaren and Ferrari, like, 30-ish?
Something like that.
Maybe a bit more.
Which is very
That's
overcomable.
Not much. Yeah, it's not much at all. Especially after McLaren's showing. God.
That being said, though, I think McLaren will be really good in Qatar and Abu Dhabi.
Well, that's why Oscar got his first sprint win. Mm-hmm. They were good there last year when they weren't even good.
Yeah.
So
and they were like not good in the cold. So you got to think now that they're back in the
hot. Yeah, I think you're right. But it doesn't mean Ferrari's not going to be good because Ferrari seems to be good just randomly. There seems to be no rhyme or reason to when Ferrari is good.
Correct.
But they also haven't been like bad for a while.
No.
Either. Like ever since coming back from the summer break, I'd say.
Yeah.
Pre-summer break, that kind of patch between like Canada and the summer break.
Yeah.
Even when like they weren't DNFing as per Canada.
Yeah.
They were just nowhere.
No. Charles was like getting lapped.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Well, there were a few strategy decisions in there.
Yeah. Putting on drives in the wet
twice
dry
in a row.
Yeah, it's not thriving.
Anyways, but yeah, they've kind of been just good. So it really depends on. I thought Zach Brown was hilarious, being like, "Go Lewis, go!" I know. I was like, valid,
fair.
Yeah, honestly, very fair. But yeah, I think McLaren will be back.
Yeah,
their car just clearly was not it.
No, but that's fine.
It happens.
I do think they'll win the constructors.
Yeah, I think so too. But there's a fat scrap going on Haas, RB, and Alpine now.
Yeah,
a freeway scrap. It's like only points in it.
Yeah.
Like single digis coming into Vegas.
True.
But now
anyway.
I don't really know. But did you hear as well that Lance Stroll had no radio?
No.
His radio wasn't working, apparently.
How did he know when to like...
He didn't. That's why apparently also radio check.
Yeah. God.
Because I feel like a lot of them don't like radio check until like the last minute. I'm like, well, what if the radio doesn't work? Then what?
Yeah.
But apparently he had no radio.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was for the whole race or just for like the first part of the race.
That's rough.
And yeah.
Good on him for at least just, keeping it all together.
Yeah.
But damn, they need crazy. Adrian Newey in that car, in that team. ASAP. In that car, it's crazy. in the team.
Yeah. ASAP. But
anyway.
I thought what was hilarious, which I didn't notice until I sent you that TikTok today.
Yes.
Obviously, Colapinto has caused a big... he's drawn a lot of attention for various reasons since coming into the sport.
Yes.
And in the break, he said, he probably meant nothing by it, but he said, I'm going to fight everyone the same. Doesn't matter if it's Verstappen or Zhou. Not the best comment to make. It's a little off.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably was just talking about, if it's a Sauber, but, to name Zhou...
Yeah.
It's a little rough.
Yeah. I mean, it's not wrong.
No.
But you just can't say those. And that's just, a classic thing of, he's just not media trained.
No. Everyone's, saying that he reminds them of Lando before Lando got media trained.
Literally. For real.
And Lando being like, well... Lewis should be winning every fucking... And everyone keeps bringing that up and being like, well, aren't you winning every race now that you're in the championship winning car? And I'm like, he's since redacted that statement. That's just a kid being an idiot.
Yeah.
The same as what Colapinto... I'm sure Colapinto didn't mean any, personal...
No, of course.
But it was a little insane.
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy. So, Zhou overtook Colapinto on the final lap of the race... And on the radio was like, see you fucking later, Colapinto. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I've never seen you get feisty because you can't fight anyone in that absolute wheelie bin.
Exactly.
So, I love it.
That's crazy.
I
know, when you sent me that, I was like, oh.
I was like, go on.
Yeah, that was a vibe.
I liked that from him. That's kind of the same vibe as Charles's radio after the race.
Yes. Damn, I know. He was displeased. Which fair, because Ferrari was Ferrarying and he has trauma.
Yeah, and Carlos said, fuck you.
Yeah.
He said, fuck your P2, I want to get on the podium because I may never ever go on there again.
Yeah.
But that was crazy.
Yeah.
And the fact that his engineer was like, Charles, trying to get him to stop talking. I was like, he's like, I know I should shut up, but fuck you. I was like,
I know. I mean, yeah, it's hard because you're emotional. It's.
Oh no, I get it. I was just like, oh,
yeah, it's full on. But I'm sure they will kiss and make up and be fine. but
Ferrari will be like, we need this big PR moment in Abu Dhabi, so you better make up.
Like, you guys have to be absolute bestie friends and cry with one another when the race finishes.
In Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi's gonna be insane.
I know.
Are you emotionally prepared?
No. Also because I'm gonna have to get up at like 5 a.m. To watch it, and I'm gonna be like, and then I'm gonna have to go to work and pretend that everything's fine when it's not fine.
That was like me going to work after Brazil. I was like, that's fine. But
I know. Like, part of me is like,
take the day off.
Call in sick. No, but like, part of me is like, oh, I should just like wait to watch it in the evening.
Oh, no.
But I can't do that because I will inevitably spoil it for myself.
Yeah.
And
then you need time to process before we film.
True. Yeah. So I just can't do that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's gonna be. I was looking at the Qatar times today. None of them are at a good time.
Again. I know.
The race is at 3 a.m. Not. It's gonna be at 5, 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Watch before work situation.
Yeah. But really enjoyed Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Eve came over.
Yeah.
We had a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Cheese board.
It was great.
It was so nice.
Yes.
So, but anyways.
Some awards, perhaps.
Well, I was just going to say, like, before we get there.
Yeah.
Obviously, George won the race.
Yeah.
Slay. Congrats. Max in the cool-down car. Afterwards, discovering all the features of a Rolls Royce.
It was so funny.
As if that man's probably, like, I'm sure you've been in a Rolls Royce before.
The comedic timing of it was so good.
Totally. Because it was also then cut to Lewis, who was, like, fiddling around with the mirror. Like, he was fully in his element. Meanwhile, Max was like, what does this do?
He was like,
this is cool.
Because he wasn't saying anything. And GP was just like, sat there. And he, like, put down the tray and, like, looked at it.
Like,
placed his water bottle and was like, and then like looked and was like, that's the button for that. And he like said to GP and he was like, I'm just looking at the car. I've never seen before.
I know.
And like when he put down the thing, it like ruffled the mic on the camera. He was just like, it was really funny.
Such like a space cadet.
Yeah,
so random.
Like, I'm like, you're 4-time world champion, everybody.
Yeah. Anyways, so I just thought that was
hilarious.
So yes, let's get into some awards.
Do you have some facts? Some useless stats?
Yes, I do have some useless stats.
Yes.
Okay, so obviously I already said my Alex Albon thing in F1. I'm sure we probably have similar ones.
Same ones,
but mine are kind of in a bit of a string.
Okay.
So first of all, this was the first time in history that there's been 7 different multi-race winners, which is crazy. But specifically on Max, so Max now joins Nelson Piquet and Keke Rosberg as drivers who have clinched the title in Vegas. And Verstappen won from P5, which Nelson Piquet, his current girlfriend's dad, also did.
Won from P5 or finished 5th?
No, like finished 5th, but like won the championship. Like clinched the championship when he finished in 5th.
Yes.
In Vegas.
Gotcha, yes.
Which is weird. And then he also won the championship on a Saturday, which he did last year as well, because he clinched the championship in the Qatar sprint.
Yes.
And he has led the Drivers' Championship now since May 2022, which is the longest run in F1 history. Facts.
Congratulations, Max Verstappen. I'm really glad he's got 4. I mean, if it wasn't this year, like, but like, there's a big jump in people who have won 3. A lot of people have won 3.
Yes.
Not a lot of people have won 4.
Yeah.
So it takes him up to a whole new level. Yes. So he now sits with Alain Prost and Sebastian Vettel. And obviously him and Sebastian Vettel are the only people who have won 4 in a row.
Yes, I think so.
Maybe there's one other person.
I think. Schumacher? Mick Schumacher? Michael Schumacher?
Mick Schumacher?
Michael Schumacher?
Maybe. I don't know. But anyway. Juan Manuel Fangio has 5. No one has 6. And then everyone knows Schumacher and Hamilton have 7. So he's sitting up there.
Yeah. Michael Schumacher also won.
Okay, 4 in a row. Yeah, okay.
5 in a row, actually.
Oh, T. Okay. Well, the third person then, I think, too. Because did Lewis win 4 in a row? Wait. Maybe I'm bugging.
Hang on. Fact checking.
Please hold. Surely Lewis won 4 in a row. 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah. Anyway, forget that part of the story. He's got 4, which puts him in a very exclusive club with Alan Prost, Sebastian Vettel, and then Fangio has 5.
Yes.
And then everyone knows Schumacher and Hamilton have 7.
Yes.
So it's a very, very exclusive club up there. So he's taken the next step from 3 to the extremely elite. So
agreed.
Congrats.
I think it definitely puts him closer to that conversation of like
GOAT.
Who are the goats?
Who are the goats?
Because I think until now it's been like, yes, he's been amazing, but it's been such a short period of time. Whereas like with 4, he's definitely a lot closer.
Because he's the 6th person to ever have 4.
Yeah. Which is
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Something I thought was really hilarious was his conversation with Zach Brown afterwards. So funny, because Zach Brown was obviously like congratulating him and like, oh, like congrats, like you got us, and Max was like, yeah, haha, like you pushed me all the way, like good battle, blah blah blah. And he's like, and to think last time you told me I could only do it in the fastest car, or no, like now you see I can do it without just having the fastest car, something like that. Yeah. So funny, humbled.
I know. I know. We love that.
I love that. That was hilarious. Do you want to hear my fact?
I do.
I don't know if you've seen this, but this one is like less crazy. Before Vegas, this was one that I was just like, interesting. Coming into Vegas, Charles, Max, and Lando all scored 90 points over the last 5 weekends.
Wow.
Yeah. They were all scored the same amount of points over the last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Coming into Vegas. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because they all had, like, a win and, like, some podiums, basically, with, like, Singapore and Austin and Brazil. Like, they all had a win and then, like, you know.
I think I read as well Charles has been the highest point scorer in the US this year.
Yeah, he has. Which is crazy. I was going to say crazy because he DNF'd in Canada. That is not in the US.
No. But, like, Lando won in Miami.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
And my other fact, which I thought is insane. Do you know how long it's been since Max has finished outside the top 10? So, like, DNFs, if he's finished a race...
Got you. I was like,
Melbourne. Yeah, no, like, no DNFs included. Like, actually seen the checkered flag outside of the top 10.
Because he came, like, 7th in Singapore last year. Like 2020?
2016. Spa 2016, where he finished 11th. I was gobsmacked when I saw that.
2016?
Which was his first year in F1, I think.
It was.
Yeah. I haven't fact-checked this. I saw this on TikTok. But
what the fuck?
Isn't that insane?
That's crazy.
So basically, if he finishes the race, he's getting points. Yeah. That means he hasn't not had a points finish, DNFs aside.
I mean, he's always been in a relative... Like, the Red Bull's always been relatively good.
Yeah, but that's fucked.
Wow.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
To not have, like, a puncture.
You just never really had a bad race. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a bad race for him is, like, finishing 6th. So,
yeah, but, like, a bad race by, like, general standards.
Yeah. Wow. Unless he's had a DNF.
Wow.
Isn't that
crazy?
Ridiculous?
I thought 2020 was a good guess.
Yeah, I think, like, that's what I probably would have thought.
Yeah. Wow. Damn.
Crazy. Anyway.
You know, do you remember, like, in primary school, was there, like, ever just kids that were, like, insanely good at, like, athletics, and you'd have your athletics carnival,
and you'd be like, oh, this
and
kid,
you'd be like, like this chick that does, like, run training, like, every other afternoon.
Not many people did run training where I'm from.
Wow. Kids did where I'm
AIS fucking badass.
And I feel like that's probably what the drivers feel like with Max on the grid. They're just like, ugh. Like, I'm never going to get a look in.
Until Adrian Newey left.
True. Now they're like, maybe. Anyway. Who was your biggest winner?
Well, Max.
Yeah.
Obviously, to win the World Championship. But in terms of the race itself, Mercedes.
Me too. I had that as well. I mean, specifically George, but Mercedes
in general. Yeah.
Biggest loser?
Williams and Alpine.
Yep. And Perez.
Yeah. Did he get points? He got points in the end, I think. I think he came 10th.
Yeah.
Not
good enough.
Not good enough.
Silliest surprise?
Gasly P3.
That's what I...
And also the Mercedes race pace.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere.
Literally.
Fair. What was your biggest meme?
Well,
we've obviously talked through a lot.
I've said a lot. I had down like the Perez on the sphere.
Yes.
Because that's so funny. But I said another, I don't have anything else really. I've rattled off about 10 already this episode.
Yeah, so. Same. My one that I had was just Charles telling his engineers speaking to Carlos in Spanish.
Yeah, that was insane.
Just wild.
Driver of the day?
Driver of the day, I said Lewis. I agreed with the people, but also Zhou.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He cooked.
Yeah, he absolutely
in that wheelie bin.
Yep. I also agreed with the
Colapinto slander or no?
Love a bit of slander.
I know. What was your favourite moment?
Max's radio after winning the world championship.
I know, he was so emotional.
I know, so sweet.
And he's not one to get emotional.
No, at all.
Yeah, he'll celebrate when, it's been a while.
Yeah, but not
I know he was crying. Bless. I know.
So yeah, and just all of the celebrations and him with the other drivers celebrating with him that I've seen. The little cheek pinch from Fernando is so cute. I'm like, this is father figure.
Yes.
This is dad. Father, hello.
I know. So sweet.
So cute.
Yeah.
And just, all of the celebrations with the other drivers and the team and stuff. And I'm like, you deserve this one. And as I said, I'm glad that he's put himself up into that next level because he deserves it. He's a freak.
Yep.
He's insane.
Yep.
And he's phenomenal. So
agreed.
Yeah.
We love that. I also just had, which we've already mentioned, Charles's start because I was like, oh my god,
yeah. Way, we're on.
And then again, as we've already mentioned, watching the race on 5 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon.
So good.
Such a vibe.
This is what it's like to live in Europe.
Yeah.
All the Brits were like, meow, fucking 6 a.m. I was like,
grow up, get real. 3 a.m.
Yeah, I'm
us for the next 2 weeks.
Literally, most of the races are in Europe, so
yeah, you can relax.
Please chill out.
Yeah.
So yeah, love
but
that.
I think that wraps it up.
I think so.
So Qatar.
Last sprint.
Yeah, very similar to Vegas, but just hot. Because we're in the desert. It's just
the hot desert.
The hot desert the whole time.
Yeah.
Nighttime or no. Another night race. Or the rest are night races now. I love a night race.
Me too.
They're just so pretty to watch.
Yeah, I know. It's the first night race I've watched on live. Because we were in Singapore.
True.
And I watched
You went back and watched. Yeah.
Saudi, yeah. But, wait, Saudi or Bahrain or both?
Both.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my first time seeing a night race on the screen live. Yeah. I was like, slay.
It was a vibe.
It is a vibe. So obviously last year Max clinched the world championship. I can't believe that.
It wasn't the second last race last year. I think it was the third last race or the fourth last race. Yeah, so it wasn't. Yeah. Vegas was the second last race last year.
Because I was like, how
did
when
it
you
take
won
that
everything?
Long? Yeah.
Did it take that long?
I know.
But he won it in the sprint.
Yeah.
Taking away from Oscar Piastri's first win in F1.
Yes.
That's when they finished and they were all on their in lap after the Grand Prix and it was on the sphere Max Verstappen world champion. I was like,
I know.
George.
I do like that they do celebrate the world championship win. I think it is important that they do something.
Yeah.
But it is surely a bit unfortunate.
Surely they should put the race winner up first and then the world champion.
Yeah. But it's also they're all competing for the world championship. So
yeah. It's a bit of a weird one.
It is. But yeah. Obviously with Qatar being very hot last year, the drivers suffered.
Yeah.
There was
Singapore-esque.
Yeah, but next level. There was fainting, there was vomiting, there was drivers could barely get out of their cars. Almost all of them had to go to the doctor afterwards. Because of heat stroke. It was bad. I think, actually, I read somewhere that the teams have had to install some sort of cooling or airflow system in the cockpit so that they, because it was clapped Like Lance Stroll, I think it was Lance Stroll or Ocon maybe.
I think both.
Vomited in their helmets.
Helmet. Yeah.
Like drivers were like opening up their
Visors
and like holding their hands up to like cool their hands and cool their face.
Yeah.
Insane. I mean, look,
It's
they
so
are
unsafe.
Yes. They're professional athletes and they're paid a lot of money to do what they do.
It's true.
But it was
also,
a bit
like,
full on.
Too far.
Yeah.
I think that's too far.
Yeah. So hopefully if they have put in some sort of measures to
better.
Yeah, fix that problem, hopefully they work.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then McLaren, I would be putting my eggs in McLaren's basket for Qatar.
Constructors.
Yeah.
Or just in Qatar.
Just for, like, well, yeah, the constructors, but like for Qatar, I feel like they're going to do well.
Well, I feel like it's been a while, so...
And look, I mean, if Red Bull bring the correct
rear
wing, then
maybe they'll be up there too.
Yeah.
But, well, Max
will.
Imagine if Perez just, like, won a race. I'd be so pissed off.
Yeah.
I'd be like, fuck off! Be like, don't just become good now to keep your seat for another 10 years.
so much shit for doing bad, and then we're like, imagine if he won, ew.
No, but, like, he needs to go. Like, imagine if he actually, like, won one race and then went back to being shit.
Yeah.
Like, then he would keep his seat for another fucking 10 years.
I know. That'd be so, yeah.
He's going for Alonso's record. I don't even know if that is the record. I'm just assuming no one's been 44 and still racing.
Yeah, no, I think he's the oldest.
Did we even talk about Bortoleto? Did that happen since Brazil?
It did!
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah! Because we were like, why didn't they announce... Because he's Brazilian. We're like, why
in Brazil.
didn't they announce it in Brazil? But anyways, he's going to be driving for Stake next year.
Yeah.
So...
I don't know much about him. He was in McLaren Academy, so...
Yeah.
He can be a sleigh.
I mean, you want to be an F1 driver, period, end of story. But
it's a Zhou Guan Yu-esque kind of situation.
Yeah, I'm like, are you going to actually be able to, like, prove you can do anything to get to a better team?
Maybe
we'll
not.
see.
Yeah. I mean, he's McLaren Junior, so...
Yeah.
God forbid something happens to one of my children. There could be, like, a route there.
Yeah, maybe.
But... Who knows? I don't think that. I think McLaren are happy with their drivers.
Yep.
It's just if their drivers are happy with them.
Correct.
But yeah, it's kind
of. Or maybe
crazy.
Lando goes to Red Bull and him and Max hang out.
that would be
crazy.
Insane. I don't want him anywhere near Christian Horner. But Bortoleto is managed by Fernando Alonso's management company, which is insane because they're going to be racing against each other.
I know.
At the back of the grid with that Aston... Oh, no. Newy's coming.
Newy.
I was going to say the Aston Martin's pretty bad, so maybe they'll be fighting.
Although for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But who knows?
Anyways.
Anyway, I think that wraps it up.
I think so. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you're listening on... Oh, for fuck's sake! I can never get a good... Like, there's no smooth way of saying this. I've tried so hard every time. If you're listening... Give us a 5-star review because it really helps us out. And we are trying to get this on Apple Podcasts too. And a lot of people have been asking us for that. But give us a 5-star review anyway.
Yeah.
And if you're watching on YouTube, give us a like. Drop us a comment what you think. And subscribe because it makes us happy. And also go follow us on TikTok and Instagram because we post on TikTok every day.
Yeah, the majority of our content is on TikTok.
Yeah.
So go check that out.
Yeah. Go follow us on TikTok and also follow us on Instagram and TikTok because for the off season, you'll know what we're doing when we fucking figure it out. Yeah,
we got some fun things planned,
and it will be on YouTube too.
Yeah,
but some of it won't be. It's gonna be
maybe Twitch.
Watch this space.
Anyway,
see ya.
Bye.